I was considering going to watch Shyamalan Jr.'s debut last night, but then I saw that and thought, no, I'll go home and watch Hitman instead. And I definitely made the right call because Hitman is awesome. Glenn effing Powell. This guy is a star. He is so damn good in this film, full of charisma, full of personality, full of charm. And the whole premise of the film is his character is this undercover fake hitman for police sting operations. And the first half an hour of this film is him just kind of living that up and putting on all the different personas and costumes and wigs and beards and all these different personalities. And you just really see how charismatic and versatile Glenn Powell really is. And it just makes you really, really like his character a lot. And then he meets the female lead who wants her husband killed because he's abusive and whatnot. But he's like, you know what? Take the money, go get a new apartment, start a new life. And so she does. And the two strike up a romance with Glenn Powell playing the persona of Ron, the hitman, instead of Gary Johnson, his real persona. And their romance together is so good. The dialogue between them is great. The chemistry is there. You just feel it. And you're just kind of drawn into this film as a romance film, which is worth kind of stressing that this, most of all, is a romance film. It's a romantic comedy, basically, about a guy who's a fake hitman for the police, and then he falls for one of his potential targets, and that creates some interesting situations later on in the film. And the situations and circumstances that Powell's character gets into at the back end of the film were really interesting. And I found myself really drawn into the plot at that point, because I was thinking, how is he going to get out of this scenario? I just really enjoyed the writing on that front. I thought it was really smart and engaging. The big scene at the end of this film where it all kind of comes to a head, no spoilers, I was actually kind of on the edge of my seat a little bit because I didn't know how it was going to go down. I was really surprised by Hitman, and I shouldn't have been because it's Richard Linklater, but even with an established director making a film that gets dumped to Netflix, it just makes me not that excited for it. But this is honestly one of the best Netflix original films I've seen in quite some time. They put forward this interesting and quirky premise, and they just deliver on the promise of said premise with a smart and engaging script, an amazing, awesome lead performance in Glenn Powell, a really, really good support performance as well from the main actress whose name I can't remember because it's really hard to pronounce. I really enjoyed the pacing of the film as well. I wasn't sure about it at first because it wasn't moving as quickly as I was expecting, but I quickly just kind of fell into it and enjoyed how brisk and leisurely and relaxed it was. It was quite nice. If you have Netflix and you don't mind romantic comedies, give Hitman a watch. Just watch it for Glenn Powell, please, because the dude is just awesome. Every time he smiles, you're smiling as well. I had a smile on my face for the vast majority of this film, and honestly, it's one of my favourite films of this year so far.